bustling city of Lagos, Nigeria, Lola, a fashion entrepreneur, found herself at a pivotal crossroad in her career. Now, picture Lola in our studio, surrounded by African textiles, clients' measurements, sketches of her designs. After years of running a successful ready-to-wear business, Lola had weathered a lot of storms. The challenges of running a business in Nigeria, in Lagos, to the desire or the need to constantly stay creative as a designer. But there was one particular challenge that remained unsurmountable, and that is the fear of our tailors not coming to work the next day. And this feeling, trust me, she felt it almost every day. Let's go back just a little bit. At the beginning of Lola's journey, she had to embark on a series of excited and unavoidable journeys to Tedrasho Market, Balogun Market. Now, this brought a lot of delight because, she experienced the harmony of the rhythms of sewing machines mixed with, the chatters of fabric vendors in the market. Now, this is the thing. Every time Lola had to go to the market, Lola still had this bother in her mind. She kept pondering on how she was going to, solve a major problem in the fashion industry. I'm sure you're wondering what that problem is. Now, Lola had to think about her future and decided that she was going to move from one space in the industry to another. Now, what did Lola do? Fueled by this passion, Lola embarked on a transformational journey with herself, understanding that her calling was in nurturing and supporting emerging talents in the space. Determined to address the staffing menace in the fashion space, Lola began to build a team. So she began with a team and ensured that they had more than what was necessary. In any fashion space, when you think about it, it's usually sewing and design. So she became a coach of some sort and not just a boss, fostering an environment where our employees felt supported in their personal and professional journey. However, Lola realized that the challenges of running a business, from production, logistics to market fluctuations, it was just draining. It was taking and consuming so much of her energy. And now she needed to divert that energy towards truly her vision. Now, this realization marked a turning point. Lola decided to exit her ready-to-wear business. So she left cutting and sewing, or ready-to-wear, as many people call it. Embracing her role as a connector, Lola established a platform dedicated to linking fashion talent with unparalleled opportunities. Lola's deep understanding of the challenges of her former employees, as well as her own experience as a former employee at some point in her journey, was what she leveraged on. She used this to connect with fashion talent looking for opportunities. Now, as Lola walked away from the familiar rhythms of sewing machines, a new journey began. She stepped into a world of infinite possibilities, which came at a cost, like one of the speakers said earlier. What was that cost? To unlearn, to learn, and to relearn. Hold up. That is me. All the slides, that's me. Giving you a glimpse into the last 10 years of my professional journey in fashion. It's nice to meet you all. Hello, everybody. I am Oluwadamilola. I'm not here to talk about all that seems nice, when it comes to pivoting or seeking a new opportunity. I'm here to actually share with you a major learning curve, which I'm currently ruminating on, which has come from my ongoing observation of the tech space. It sounds great that I switched from a ready-to-wear designer to another aspect of the industry. But it's even more amazing to think about the size of opportunity that is actually in the fashion space. One that is so big, and yet it is still unrefined. So here I am, out there seeking solutions. And I noticed that everywhere I looked, there's just a lot of information about the tech space. This made me so curious. I kept asking, what's so different about the tech space? Why is fashion not, receiving the same hype as the tech space? What are tech people doing differently? And how are they doing it? So I decided to look more closely. If I look on Twitter, you see, or X, you see work in tech. If I'm on Instagram, women in tech. Tech programs here, tech programs there. These folks need fashion. But as it is, it turns out that we also need tech. Now, I know that you are probably thinking I mean leveraging tech to design, to market, and produce your fashion products. Well, that is a fact. We actually need tech in today's world, but that's not what I'm here to share. We in Lagos, West Africa, and Nigeria, it's time for us to begin to learn from the players in the tech space, especially in Africa. Even if they met us here, even if we were here first, we still need to take a closer look at what they are doing. See, tech skills are now universal. Do we agree? Do we agree? Okay. Now, what that means is that any African with a tech skill is now a universal asset, meaning that they can be anywhere, they can do anything, they can earn in any currency. But can we say the same about fashion talent? Some people think that fashion school or fashion is all about creativity. No, it's not. Fashion is 20% creativity, 80% business. What does that mean? That means that you need to have grasped the basics of business, especially in fashion, which is very complex, by the way, to succeed in any part of the world. So, can a fashion designer here thrive in Paris? That's pretty much what I'm asking. Can a tech enthusiast here thrive in Silicon Valley? I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. Now, tech skills are widely available today, and they are taught by experienced folks or organizations who have very reliable and reputable credentials. How about fashion? Do people in fashion have credible certifications? The question might not be yes or no. The issue is actually that to get a very good credential, MIT, name it, London College of Fashion, different institutes out there, is actually very expensive for fashion talent. Now, for the few that have actually acquired these certifications, most of them decide to stay in their host countries and build a career rather than come back here. Because the few that have returned have actually had to face a lot of challenges. Very popular infrastructure, right? Tech space. To thrive, you need 3 simple things. I don't want to go into details. Tech people, please don't have my head. You need a computer, a good network provider. Thirdly, you need electricity. Am I correct? Okay. Now, to thrive in what many consider fashion in this side of the world, what I mean by in this side of the world is cutting and sewing, ready to wear, ashrebi, bespoke. You need sewing machines that really or only rely on power. Now, without this, you often have to put your dream on pause. That dream could be launching a new collection or simply satisfying the customer. That's when tailors don't pick their calls, when you don't make their clothes. The tech industry is known for partnerships between like-minded people, right, who have created successful startups. Who can mention 2 startups that are called unicorns today? Flutterwave, Andela. See, everybody knows. Mention 1 unicorn startup in fashion. We exist. Wait for us. The tech space has many thriving communities, boot camps, hackathons, and initiatives that nurture and encourage tech talent. In contrast, fashion, we have a lot of technical schools and technical skill initiatives, and popularly fashion shows. Even these fashion shows, they focus so much on the designs and the buzz that comes with the show, rather than what fashion shows are really about, which is merchandising and fashion buying, meaning that buyers come to your show and they order a tons of pieces of a particular look because they feel it will sell in the market. In tech, there are various types of investments, business incubator programs, and series funding. You know, in tech, you hear pre-seed, seed, series A, series B. But when you think about it, you see that there's a lot of investment going into the tech industry. But when you think about the fashion startups, it's like comparing an elephant to a rat. When you put a figure or you put an amount to the investment that comes in. Is it the type of people that work in tech? Because I'm still trying to think. Is it their background? I'm sure you're also curious, just like I am. Look, I have nothing against tech folks, maybe a little, because they met us here. But fashion came before tech, right? And fashion has given Africans the power of authenticity and originality. Do you agree? Thank you. Technology, however, has exploited genuine problems and needs of the continent to succeed. Do we agree? Thank you. There was a time when Africa could actually claim to be independent of tech, but they cannot do without relying on fashion, which in the industry we say it is the fabric on which the African story is told. When you see an African textile, you can easily tell what part of Africa that is. Okay? Now, can we still claim to be authentic and original? Why am I saying this? Because the African stories are now being told in different ways by different people, not just by Africans. So, what do we still have? We still have the power in our numbers, our people, our talent, our ways, and most importantly, with or without tech, those things will still exist. But wouldn't we want to move in a new direction? Tech on this end, fashion on the opposite. Two opposite industries, maybe not necessarily opposite, because tech folks wear fashion. Two opposite industries with so much in common and so much to help each other to thrive. The question is, where will fashion go from here? Nigerian fashion, West African fashion, African fashion. We can actually take a cue from our younger cousins, tech space, and learn our ways. Let's consider Snapchat and TikTok. It's everywhere today. But why? In tech, we see that they are not actually afraid to make mistakes. Tech is not afraid to make mistakes. Tech is bold. They're ambitious. They want to take on Africa. A company that just got their pre-seed funding, they're already thinking of expansion. Tech thinks collaboration. Tech keeps our door open. So this is a meeting point, right? All of the things I've said, boldness, authenticity, collaboration, expansion, and much more. But most importantly, tech always keeps our door open. It's time for fashion to do the same. Thank you very much.